What's good, family? You know, I advise y'all on your free time, y'all to come outside and put some new energy in your body, y'all. You know, we're energetic beings, y'all. So we thrive off of energy. You know, that's your number one most important resource. Everything that's considered food in your eyes is a source of food, but ACP is energy. Everything still is energy, family. So just remember that it is important to put energy within your body, y'all, to keep the fuel, stable, family. You want to feel strong, or you want to feel like you have energy. You don't want to feel weak, right? Or, let that sun shine on you, family, and take that new energy that the world is giving you, because the world is shining every single day, y'all. We were just in, isolation stage to where the cold, that ice age, y'all, was upon us. And we felt victimized upon it because we couldn't do so much. You had to sit inside, y'all. You had to wait and let everything pass. But now that everything's, crumbling, coming down slowly, the sun's back out, y'all. So go outside and go chill with it, Go let it shine your body back up. Because you need protection, you need energy, and you need light, man. People are wanting to know what's going to make them, survive in this world as we enter newer, ages of information. Well, one thing I'm going to tell you that's going to help you in your body is light, y'all. Light is the new money, the new currency, because light is your identity, y'all. Light is how you get around the world, y'all. Light is how people choose to respond to you. People are going to respect it, or they're going to, get the fuck away from it. Because since you're righteous, your energy expects, prime results, y'all. They don't have no results to show for it. And that's why they can't talk to you, but they love to be around you, because your energy is feeding them without you even saying a word. Because that's how much energy you have, chosen one. But yeah, family, I'm rarely outside in a way to where I can just come outside and just chill and not worry too much, because if I'm not working, y'all, then I gotta go handle business, So coming outside is the best thing to do, y'all. You want to build that light back up, but you want to build your energy up most importantly, because a clear mind doesn't, get anything, y'all. Without energy, y'all, a clear mind is a clear path, but you don't get none of those without having anything to show for. Your energy, it keeps your body to thrive, right, family? So just know that. But, this world is so deep because the sun, y'all, it was, looked upon as a weapon back then, y'all. The sun was, not liked or not appreciated because it shines without permission. You can as well, y'all, but you might not, because you have demons that you haven't cleansed. It's not your fault, but if you know about it, well, then you become aware about what you gotta do, So it's something to think about, family. If, your mind is focusing on too many things at once, y'all, you can do that, but it's gonna, make you worry too much, y'all. And you shouldn't be worrying too much, y'all, because your power is not in overthinking. Your power is in calm and peace, And that's why people flutter to you, y'all, because your vibration is nothing but peace, y'all. You're light, y'all. Remember, God, a speck of Him is within you, but it's not in everybody else, y'all, because not everybody wants to live peacefully. They love that filth, that guilt, and that's slowly destruction, because destruction is something that destroys you over time. Not you, chosen one, because you're choosing life. You're choosing to give back to life as well, y'all, because when you put life in your body, your body shows you that with more energy, family. You don't want to rely on other people, You feel weaker that way, when you rely on other beings for too long. But yeah, family, one thing I want to remind y'all is that, for all the people who have graduated, well, now, time is something that you really don't care about no more because you're not rushing to get out of nowhere, y'all. Only thing you could do now from then is grow. You can learn so much, but you can also build so much as well. You just gotta focus on what it is in life you're trying to establish or become. But, it's something to think about though because, ever since I graduated, y'all, I have realized that life, nobody cares about what you do. So do it anyway, y'all, if you want to, You don't have to, do something because you feel like you can't do it for what others, are looking at you, man. Fuck with their family, You gotta have that mindset walking in this new year, y'all, knowing that, there's no good without bad and there's no bad without good, What you attract, y'all, you will always have things that are not gonna be attracted to you for the fact that nothing's attracted to them. So why would you be attracted to them, or why would you even be attracted, to them in their mind, family? But this new year, y'all, walk into it pure, have a clear mind, y'all. Instead of thinking more so about something, just focus on what you can do in the moment, family. For instance, how you come outside and you're letting the sun reabsorb your body with energy, right? You don't have to do nothing. All you gotta do is, sit and let your body, refill itself up. You're like a Tesla. Your body relies on energy, family. Once you know that, that becomes the end of the story because now you know what your body truly needs. It doesn't need, consumables. It needs purity, energy, y'all. Not trash. That's baggage. That shit holds you back or it makes you feel weak. You don't want to be weak, family. You want to be strong in this world. Chosen ones are strong because they have a strong willpower. Their willpower is defined by how they see life internally because they live their way. There's a lot of beings who are not chosen. It's a fact. There's more people in this world that are just robots, People who are living in the world but are not thinking about themselves and are not thinking about how can they change it. That's the difference between a consumer and a producer or a creator. A consumer, all they do is consume. There are people who try out things every day without wanting to start something for people to try out, I don't know why people, don't try to think outside the box. But then you gotta realize some people don't have souls. Some people don't think like you because they don't have what your body has already. So you can't get mad at the programming. You just gotta respect what it is, family, and thank God that He put, a piece of His light in you. And that's why you are helping the world every day evolve. That's just what it is. Truly, chosen one. Your power was never in doing too much. You had a voice that purified the realms around you, so you are choosing to use that. So God is pouring all these fucking, anything you want, your aspirations, manifestations, just gold, abundance, is all being in, falling into your lap, But to receive this, you must have this energy within you because everything starts energetically first, y'all. Law of the universe states that you must feel like you already have what you want before you get it, because the universe responds to your car. How does the car feel? Is he calm? Is he happy? Is he relaxed? If so, you have earned everything you've been working for, chosen one. So don't rush nothing. Just thank God that it happened because I waited for it to happen and I didn't rush it. Everybody rushes. You're not supposed to rush. You're supposed to enjoy, building up from the ground. But this video was to remind you that when the world's crushing around you and falling, nature is still around you and nothing's wrong with nature. You know, it should, crush your mind how everything dies when it's cold, y'all. The cold ain't normal because the cold kills everything. It kills the plants. It kills people that are homeless, y'all, if they don't do anything about it. Shit ain't normal. God doesn't put people on this planet to freeze like popsicles. This shit is deep out here. So that's why you need to appreciate, nature for what it has to offer, because, when the seasons change, you're not gonna be able to be outside, and you're gonna have to live in that box temporarily because the world's gonna be fucking cold. Most people like it when the world has some heat to it, because when it's too cold, y'all, you don't like doing shit, or you don't want to do nothing, family, because the energy that the sun is absorbing you with is, changing your conscious daily, and it's giving you, productivity, it's enlightening you with energy that's healing your cells, and that's why you love the sun, because it makes your body feel good, But it's just something to think about, y'all, because I'm pretty sure if you never come outside, you get tired of being in fucking doors, y'all. You can play the game, you can watch TV, you can go to bed, but eventually you gotta come out, y'all, because all that shit gets boring, And why does it get boring? Because you're never supposed to stay still for too long. You're supposed to come out and enjoy and travel upon this reality, chosen one. I'm really happy and appreciative that the sun came out today, because, during those days we were, trapped with the cold, you couldn't really come outside. You couldn't really feel what the sun felt like because it wasn't out. And the sun does a lot for us, y'all, because without light in this world, y'all, everything would literally freeze, y'all. With no light, nothing can be, developed or just, reborn. The plants wouldn't grow, you wouldn't get no light or direction because you couldn't see anything without a fucking light bulb. We are children of the sun, family. That's why we are close to it, whether you know this or not. And that's why you have a light, whether it's high or low, you can still shine it, and you can still work on it. You just gotta know your power before you can activate it. Family? But before I end this video, I just want to remind you that, if you feel down or you can't think right, that's probably because you're not getting the energy that your body needs. Yes, your body can thrive off of anything consumable, but it truly needs organic energy. Energy from the planet or from the sun and the sky, family. Something that's gonna hit you without your permission because it was here before. So just think about that, chosen. I'll see you on the next video.